It's me again. I didn't forget you, I swear. I was just not feeling well last week. I hope you didn't miss me too much. So yes, last week I didn't make a video, though I put a highlights with all my favorite books on Instagram, so if you're looking for something to read or you just want to see which books I enjoy or not, just go and have a look on my Instagram, Laurie. I don't know if you've seen all my videos, but I've made a video about ordinary disciplinary violences. And in this video I was telling you that I would put in description the list of ordinary disciplinary violences if I found it. And I haven't found it in English, so I've decided in this video that I would make the list vocally. So if you want to know what is the list of ordinary disciplinary violences, just keep watching. So obviously in ordinary disciplinary violences I'm not gonna mention any abuse, because obviously if you're beating your children, it's a violence. I don't even have to tell you that it is one, right? So today I'm going to talk about 3 different categories of ordinary disciplinary violences, obviously because that's a subject, and that's physical, psychological, and cultural ones. And I'm also gonna mention at the end some sweet violences that are not really violences, but is like repeated acts that is not the best for children. So let's go with physical ones. So the physical ordinary disciplinary violences are probably the one that are the most easy to stop, because it's the one that are the most noticeable. So those physical violences are punching, hitting, pushing, pulling, biting, shaking babies, even just hitting the hand or pinching the cheeks like that. Those are physical violences. Then you have some other physical violences, a bit less noticeable, but that many people do as well, is like depriving from dessert, forcing to eat, forcing not to eat, forcing to be continent, so forcing to stop to use diapers to your children. Those are violences as well. And the last one is either blowing the nose or washing or doing anything without telling your child, like really like arriving on him and just doing that without your child knowing. It can be a violence as well. So obviously there's a lot more than that, and I cannot give you an entire list because that would be way too long, but that's the principal ones. Go to the psychological one, and that are the worst, I think. To me, that's the worst. So you have things like screaming, raising your voice, intimidating, all those scaring thingy, like making your big eyes and stuff like that. It's psychological violences. Then you have isolating, either in his room or in the corner, intimidating, punishing, insulting, blackmailing as well. Then there is something that not much people think about, but that are actually very bad for the children, is either rating a child's behavior or rewarding a child for his behavior. It doesn't teach him to enjoy things and to do things, etc. It just makes him do it for rewards, and is not gonna work forever. Other psychological violences are ignoring your child, laxism as well is a very bad psychological violence. Also comparing your child to others, lying to your child, hide things that concern your child from your child. Also adultism, like we talked in the other video, is also a violence. Also the respect of his intimacy, confiscating things, fake promises, expecting things that doesn't match his development. For example, I know many people who say, oh, my child, he's only 2 but he can already read. Oh, my child, he's only nana. When you expect too much from your child, it can be a bad thing as well, because you need to go at his speed and not at yours. Also forcing his choice, choosing what he's gonna do at all time, like pretending he has a choice but actually not. Obviously, like in adultism, like forcing him to wear something even though he doesn't feel cold or he doesn't feel warm or whatever. Also forcing a child to wake up, to eat, to drink, forcing him to do things at your time and not at his time, or even depriving him from eating, like if he's hungry at 3 o'clock but you think that is not a time to eat, why would you not let him? Because he is hungry, so it's a time to eat because he's hungry. And finally, the last thing I have to say, but again there is millions and millions and the list would be too long if I was telling you everything, is throwing away or forcing him to lend his toys to other people. Like, just because you need to share, that's totally ridiculous. You wouldn't lend your car to someone you don't know just because you need to share. So why would you force that to a child? Then there is cultural violences. So these are mainly forcing views on either religion, custom, diet, everything. Obviously, it's very good to share your value with your children, either because you're religious or because you're following a certain diet like vegetarian or something like that. But if your child wants to eat meat and you're vegetarian, forcing him not to would be bad. Or if you are religious or not religious and your child believes in the contrary, you can't force him to believe like you. Also, forcing a child to cut his hair because he's a boy, or piercing his ears because she's a girl, or circumcision as well. Also, other cultural thingy like forcing a child to apologize, forcing a child to say thank you, forcing a child to kiss, to hug. He's gonna do it if he sees you do it. You cannot force him to do something because he's not gonna do it naturally. And basically, cultural violences are all these kind of things like forcing values, forcing customs, forcing point of view. Finally, I'd like to talk with you about street violences, which are not really considered as violences, but that can hurt someone, and not only child, I think personally, if it's repeated often without consent. So first of all, there is giving unpleasant nicknames, use jokes or sarcasm that your child doesn't really understand because he's too young to understand sarcasm, obviously. Using letters, like spelling words instead of saying something to your child, like if your child is here and you want to take your husband that you're going to the doctor, you're not gonna say, okay, let's go to the doctor. That's not good. Also, something that is considered as a violence, even if it doesn't seem like one, is rushing a child or doing something instead of him, like, okay, you're too slow, I'm gonna do it for you. Also, talking in front of him without including him is not really good for his development, I would think. Just like you wouldn't talk in front of an adult without including him about him. Also, putting your child in front of a TV or a video game just to be quiet. Now, something else, using either a park or a leash for your child. Don't laugh, I've seen people with leash on their childs, and it's really, really, really not the right thing to do, I think. Just like parks, if you're expecting a child, just make the environment around him safe for him. In your house, you're gonna protect everything. You're gonna make sure he can't open this drawer or this drawer. If something is fragile, you're gonna make sure it's high enough so he can't reach it. You're gonna make the environment for him. You're not gonna put him in a small cage just because you want a child and he won't be able to touch that or that. I don't think that's really nice from you. And also about the leash, why would you use a leash? I understand that in big cities it can be more scary because you can lose your child, but just take care of your child. Don't be on your phone or talking to someone else. If you're going out with your child, just keep an eye on your child at all time. And even if you're not going out with him, if you have him in your house, just keep an eye, what, just one, two, however, on your child. It's important for his safety, and that's it. Other street violences would be forcing a child to wear something uncomfortable just because it's cute, forcing him to be in the trolley even though he's asking to walk, and the other way around as well. All these kind of things. I guess that's all I would have to say for today about those violences. Obviously, there is a lot more that I'm not talking about, but I think that those are the main one. Obviously, I don't think anyone in this world can raise a child without any of those violences, obviously. But I think it's worth trying now that we are aware we can do without, because it's proved scientifically. I mean, I'm not a mom, I couldn't tell you what to do, what not to do, but I think it's worth trying, knowing that punishing a child, hitting a child, screaming at a child won't change nothing anyway. So I would rather be empathic and understand your child and learn how to express my feeling and his feeling. Again, I am not telling what you should do, what you should not do. I am just talking about something that I am aware of and that I would like more people to be aware of. That's it. And I really hope that we can talk about all that in the comments below, because I know that many people doesn't agree with me, and that's why I would love to talk about it and our to share our experience that we have on it. If you are raising your child without violences, please let me know as well. Tell me what you're facing and how it is, and if you have a child and you don't agree with me, well, let me know why as well. Just let's share as much as we can about this subject, because I think it's really important, because again, the child of today are the adults of tomorrow, and I think it's really important to raise them the right way so they will be the best adults they can. That's it for today. I really hope you enjoyed this video where again I'm talking way too much, way too loud, way too fast, and I'm misspelling, mispronouncing half of the words, but I don't care. Hope you enjoyed it. Ciao, see you next week.